So that gave me the mind that look, if Europeans that were down, they were not the leader many years ago, became the leader, it means other societies, other races can't belong. God did not make one superior race. And the development process had to be understood. So that became it. It took me a very short time to dismiss the issue of the Caucasians having been made especially. Because before now, they were not leaders. They were not part of the great medieval civilizations. Now, the development process, they didn't understand. They achieved it, just like, I would say, the girl that is mature will do her normal makeup before leaving the house. The tiny girl doesn't know. So by age, somehow, you get to know. So consciously, we can now say, what they did over that long time was learning and acquiring knowledge. That's how they start making automobiles and the structure we now import. Rather than wait for laissez-faire, people doing this, let us organize the society. That's how we can surprise the world. If America did the 300 days, they did something different. They focus on education and training, are different from European and Asian nations. So we hear it consciously. Well, society, let us do what will make us move forward. The world will not prevent us from doing what is right also.
Let's talk about templates. You know, sometimes you say, let us do what a lot of Nigerians will be amazed to hear that you say, we should ignore first borrowing, yes. Ignore putting all those big infrastructure in place, yes. Because yes. You talk about wear and tear and depreciation.
Yes.
And you say we should start doing things ourselves. Where do we start from? That's what Mark has been asking. And who activates the start of all of that process?
Well, what the intellectual provides, as I've told you that you do not solve a problem you do not understand. My research over the period has established, and there are really many things around to tell you. Common sense is not enough for a society. We know that no human being or no wise man, that's what we call money misroads in Niger Delta. If a man is wealthy and didn't send and failed to send his children to school, to have good education, we say money misroad. A nation can be a money misroad for a long time, investing on structures that will merely depreciate. The reason we call that is that the children are going to sell the houses in bits before he even dies and be disgraced. Mm-hmm. So a nation that doesn't develop its people will be disgraced for a long time. We've heard this. What's the pressure of society? You help to educate society that all those big money we are borrowing and all that is just waste of time. Focus on learning, education, and training. And in the short time, let the structures we are trying to be part of the learning process and development. Why can't our engineers begin to build the road that have been built before? You are big one, let them buy the machines and begin to do it rather than, so develop the manpower. When it's then developed, your privatization, you are coming, people will begin to do things on theirs. But you don't begin to talk of a non-existent private sector to do the things that governments ought to do. No, government-based nations.
Can we then say that the university system, as it is, has failed us?
No.
Why not?
Explaining is true. I've told you, two sides to the learning process, theory and practice. We are developing the theory. I'm here as a university representative with decades of research. And I've now told you, don't do certain things. They fall in with people training their children and not just investing and building structure that the children will sell before they even die. And now scientifically established. When we do that, we tell you, you are investing on a decreasing function. As you put money, your value goes down. Invest on increasing functions so that you teach a single person. He multiplies it by teaching others. As he uses the knowledge, his intrinsic value grows. And that is what other nations did. We think we are being smart by just importing what others have produced over 50 years now. It's a big error.
Why haven't we seen maybe a lot of breakthrough scientific discoveries or
you don't have the knowledge. No, you don't have the knowledge.
Up till now, we don't have
development is not like that. You don't have the knowledge to get that. Innovations are results of acquisition of knowledge. When it gets to a point, you have peak. It's a combination of pieces of knowledge that make innovations. You know, like even the guitar, the tunes. The learning person acquires the ordinary tunes. Then later he combines tunes in an extraordinary way to show the talents he has. That's about knowledge. So you learn from others, then you acquire. I will question some of the things my teachers did many years ago. I would laugh in Greek. I did a question, yes. And they would tell us that the temperature here is not good for animals. Then I laugh now. Because God made those animals for this environment. If you import others and bring, they will die of disease. Now, nutrition is keeping those animals of that size. So when good nutrition comes, good nutrition will be made of grains and all that. It won't come before industrialization. Industrialization will come to make input into agriculture. So you see, these linkages are there. So when a man stays somewhere and does research, it's only just have a PO view of a whole process that to begin to get innovation. And that is why when we even do great research and such in this, it's less than 5% of the potential for really becoming goods and services. So you can't have that on the society because it depends on that. You start something, it's just plastic. Soon it will depend on metals. Soon it will depend on others to make it product. And this is why linkage of a society, many areas of society working together, that limits area where knowledge is very limited. That's why you can't have those.
You've seen the budget, and for this budget, do you see a direction towards what you had just highlighted?
No. I think the budget, if this correctly, is about 6% for education. And nothing for training as such. Coordinated training. The training, you see, when you learn, you move on a ladder. When people come to universities, what we do is to add value. We increase the intrinsic value of the person who comes in there. You can be a lame person, but your intrinsic value is your brain and others. The architect who is sitting on a chair can tell you this, how this building will be done. That's what we do. We increase that value. And so university is doing that. The other one is to come with us. It's a whole concept. It looks attractive to build these structures. You can take photographs and tell the people what you have been doing. But in terms of science, you are just really wasting time.
Do you think that value has impacted society so far?
No, it will not, because I have told you of linkages that you need the theory and practice. So you look at the man as if it's not useful now.
Isn't that why Chamberlain asked you if the university...
University is to provide the man with theory.
Are they doing that? Because yes. With such research coming from you and so many others, where do they end up?
No. Research, don't blame us about some of the research. You ask where they end up. When I told you that European universities, in fact, they were called ivory towers of the old. You know, there is go and look at the dictionary. The first meaning is ivory tower, it's English. The second meaning is American. Ivory tower, because you know ivory, you get it from the mouth of the elephant, and you build a tower up there, and you have a project there. Removed from society. That's what they were for almost 1,000 years. European universities. So, and the theoretician is really out there. Like there's arrogance as there with theory. All of us know. You wear your tie, you see the other man is dirty. You say, this guy doesn't belong. You won't tell, this is what I've done. And when I go to university and say, somebody students say, nonsense. They say, the artisan and the engineer, they are night and day, they don't meet. Because it's ignorant. Nature has said, pride goes before a fall. You want to be versatile and be respected by the artisan and others who will be buying before you later. Go and acquire what he has. When you go to the market and buy oil, you don't become oil seller. What you need, you must get so that you can be better and attract more respect.
Prof, it would seem that you've hit the nail on the head in terms of, perhaps our reluctance or the reluctance of governments to look into the area of investing in, its human resource, as it were, because you say that it is difficult to see, it is difficult to quantify, it is difficult to justify as well. Do you think that we as a people appreciate, just how much effort it takes to educate people?
No, you see, like I have told you, we have a colonial curriculum. It's not the fault of anybody, but that's what we have. We got the educational system as part of our colonial heritage. That's what I mean. And you have not sat there to say, where am I going? Where are we going?
The problem is why?
You are saying why?
Yes. Why haven't the lecture, if they say that this is a colonial curriculum all these years,
Who is to
why
say-
don't we just change it?
Who is
and
to
teach
change it that
someone?
way? It takes time for people to say things that are not popular.
I'm just
If
wondering
something doesn't
because
work for me, why should I pretend that?
That's, you're talking of a nation. It's very pleasing to see our roles. Take camera and say, hey, populace, see what we have done, wonderful roles. It's very attractive to do that. The other one comes, it's not that the impact is, a man who has primary school go to mechanic workshop, begins to repair Mercedes, setting valves and others. So if you have eyes, yes, it's very clear. The results can be very, 3 years. So the results are there for those who see and say, what is the implication of that? I'm a theoretician, but I never quarrel with my artisan friends.
Well, we'll take a break at this point and come back and explore that a little further on the program here today. Don't go away. We'll be right back.